Southernwind, Belgian-malinois. Every time I remember the day I saw a Malinois for the first time, it was back in the 70s, I was not quite impressed. I had a special service protection and guard dog kennel, which I started in 1978. I had hired a trainer that only dealt with Belgian Malinois, and he had just titled his dog in ring sport 3. Neither did I knew about the sport of ring sport. When he came into the airport for me to pick him up, I was not impressed by these dark, fun, smallish, so-called Belgian Malinois, who would I have thought this dog made the greatest impact in our breeding life, and that we had ever expected. Carlos and his Malinois, Marco, really hit my heart. When I saw this little dog doing all the ring sport exercises and the strength he had in his bite, I can say I was quite impressed. Having been breeding German Shepherds and Dobermans for so many previous years, I was used to a different look and lots of substance in working dogs. But this one did broke the rules to my ideas. Thanks to Carlos and Marco, the Malinois made their way into Puerto Rico. We imported various pregnant females from a very well-known breeder, Mrs. Danielle Doherty. One of the girls that she sent us came pregnant from a dog that was later sold to NASA, and two males that were just highly impressive. One was Ricky, as I used to call him, a super dark red sable male that I still save his image in my mind. With his dark mask, deep red sable, small ears, beautiful head, and strong structure. He was my ideal Malinois. Malinois took a time to become popular in Puerto Rico. Even some of the top trainers in Puerto Rico in that time didn't have an idea of what these magnificent creatures were able to accomplish. I still remember my very good friend Jimmy Sosa, who we had business, and both of us did the same thing as guard dog and renting guard dogs. I invited him to my house to see my first litter of Malinois, who were out of the dog that was in the NASA. And the first thing he told me, Ceci, these dogs look like moths. And I started to laugh. I said, yes, Jimmy. That was my first impression until I saw them work. So then I went ahead and called Carlos and had him do an exhibition with his little Marco. And Jimmy's jaw just fell down, surprised at this amazing ability of these dogs. I offered him some of the puppies, but he said, I think I couldn't sell them to people because they don't know the breed and they're not really super attractive either. So I felt I was stuck with 14 beautiful Belgian Malinois puppies. But not for long. I posted an ad in an old non-existent newspaper. Nowadays, it was called the San Juan Star, which has also received in the Virgin Islands. And surprise, I got a call from a military in active duty who was visiting the islands, and when he saw my ad, he called lots of his friends and they all wanted the Malinois. So he flew over to Puerto Rico and took the 11 puppies with him. At that time, we were able to do that on the airlines. Not anymore now. I did keep 3 of them. Years later, the Malinois rushed entered Puerto Rico, and now Malinois are the big-time breed. I still see more than 5 generations of our dogs in many of them, and feel so proud of having been the pioneer in the breed in Puerto Rico. In 1984, my son was born. 8 years later, he helped me whelp a litter of 16 puppies. And I still remember his face when he picked up the tiniest of all of them. And he told me, Mama, I'm keeping him. I'm calling him Mako the Shark. Well, Mako lived to be 13 years old and his greatest protector and bully. After that, Franco, my son, he met Jermaine Powell from the NVBK and fell in love with his Malinois, became an NBBK decoy, and brought home the famous first NBBK title dog to Puerto Rico, the famous Bass von Neuwerke. He was an NBBK 1. NBBK starts different from Schutzen. The 1 is the highest points, the highest title. After Bass passed away at 13, we brought in Oran. His name was Sark de la Cabrad, NBBK 1, who produced as well as Bass. Then there was Linda, or Kiara as we called her. She had been bred to Bass, and then she had been bred to Sark as well. She was almost in every top Malinois pedigree in Puerto Rico. Top Malinois with great intensity to work. And after Oran, we acquired the famous Raki Duplot de la Bissée, French Ring 3, who also became a well-known producer, sire of our present Maui, who is almost 10 years old, and have produced the greatest, who carry great socialization and strong intensity and great commitment for work. This is part of our Malinois story, living in between them since 1978. Now the Malinois man is my son Franco, who joined the army at 17 years and has shared his life with the breed. Now, after 15 years of having joined the army, still breeding with the same principles and breeding plan structure I was able to share with him. The Southernwind Malinois. The legend continues.